Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back. I am back. It's the finale of What If Isagi Had a Split Personality. As always, if y'all enjoy, show some love, leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. And we're going to get into right where we left off, and that's right before our first match of the second selection. And let's get into it. Let's get it. It's going to be Isagi's team versus Rin's team. This team matchup is one that is going to be very, very interesting, especially for the fact that you don't really know what you're going to get out of Isagi. You never really know. But there's one thing that Isagi has gained throughout this time, and that's a lot of confidence. So when he's on the football field and he's confident, let's just say he is an amazing player. On top of his excitement, his cheerfulness, and even a slight bit of nervousness, Isagi is going to be a dangerous person to guard. And on top of that, with Nagi and Bachira on the team, it makes it real difficult for their team to be guarded in general. The first goal would go to Isagi's team. Off the bat, Isagi would use his incredible footwork and incredible speed to basically outpace the entirety of Rin's team, Aru and Tokumitsu not being able to keep up. Even if Tokumitsu is extremely fast, or extremely quick, in fact, Isagi still is going to be faster than them, able to get Nagi wide open and allow him to score a goal very quickly, which would open up the field quite a bit. But here's the thing, Rin on the other hand would open up the field by just scoring a goal right off the bat and right off a kickoff, making it 1-1. Isagi can tell how good Rin really is and how good he's going to be in this game. Even with that goal though, Isagi would still feel that little voice. The little voice that is clawing its way to the surface. The little voice that wants to dominate against Rin so badly. He wants to outshine Rin, be better than him. He's never felt this voice before. But soon the voice would make its way out, and that little version of himself would be a version of Isagi that believed he was truly the best. A personality that was so egotistical that it seemed as if it was a combination of everything Isagi has done so far. But not on top of that though, he would be able to see things that he's never seen before. The field would open up. It would be as if it was just a beautiful entire roadmap. Something that Isagi could see in a million different ways. Isagi would begin to utilize this roadmap as he darts down the field, and he's able to pass it up to Nagi and get a quick pass back to him, leading to a quick goal from Bachira, putting them up 2-1. But there is no way around it. Itoshi Rin is something different, something that many people aren't ready for, and his vision of the field is far greater than whatever Isagi has revealed for himself right now. But here's the issue with Rin's vision. He's trying to find patterns. He's trying to find momentary lapses within every single person on the field, but it's not that simple. You can't find lapses and small little errors in their game because there's no consistency. Nagi is so creative. He's a prodigy. So when things come out of nowhere and he has to adapt, his adaptability is absolutely insane. In terms of Bachira, well, with them being tied now 2-2 after Rin would score another goal, Bachira would show his unpredictability when he begins to take every single one of them on a 3-on-1, easily dribbling by both or all three of them, being that of Rin, Aru, and also Tokumitsu. And it seems like he's just insanely talented at dribbling, and it's so unorthodox that even Tokumitsu can't react quick enough and use his speed to keep up. It seems like even the off-ball movement that Isagi is showing, the development of his own speed, and whatever this side of him is, the egotistical personality that is shining right now, is something that is to be seen very, very soon. But quickly, when they're up now 3-2, Rin would try to look for a response. But now that Isagi has more of a grasp on this brand new personality and this brand new version of himself, a version of himself that seemingly can pull from many others, the egotistical side of him that is so egotistical about his own speed, his own vision, his own striking abilities. But soon, Rin would get under Isagi's skin. Rin would see things quicker than Isagi still can, and he would expose him defensively. Isagi can't keep up. Frustration begins to boil over, and now they're tied 3-3. Isagi might see, or most of them might see this as a good thing. Maybe they can win just by going back and forth, but Isagi wanted to win convincingly. Frustration would overwhelm him, and that would be included in his egotistical form. Yes, Isagi was already really good, but he's never played against someone like Rin. He's never played against someone as talented and as well put as Rin is. It seems like he knows what's going to happen before it even happens. So when frustration boils over and the anger begins to seep out, well, let's just say Isagi doesn't even know what to do with it. It's so potent to the point that Isagi shoots from kickoff just like Rin did, scoring, but right after, he would talk so much smack to Rin, telling him that he's a fraud, telling him that he's useless, and that he's going to be nothing here. And he continues to say these things as Rin gets more and more frustrated. Rin would basically talk back to Isagi, saying that after this, he's going to mess him up, that they're going to have a real issue. But Isagi continues to guard him, but this guarding, this defensive stance is insane. He's able to keep up with Rin and cut off every single spot he has. His ability to cover and defend right now is off the charts due to his frustration and anger that is seeping out, and his ability to shoot goals is more or less at every single range. It's as if he has insane range and you have to cover him from every single aspect of the field. Rin would try to sneak by Isagi, but he tries to utilize the other people around to basically get him open. Maybe he can pass it off to Aru or Tokumitsu and allow him to cut through the shadows and take the ball himself. But even this is difficult. Even this is absolutely difficult in the face of Isagi right now. For some reason, he's unhinged. His defense and frustration has made him an unpredictable defender. And when an unpredictable defender is defending someone like Rin, let's just say it's nothing that he can just look past. His vision begins to get cloudy, and everything he sees around Isagi, everything he believes that should be there, is completely blurred out, is basically covered and shrouded in darkness. He doesn't see a single thing. But he tries to rely on his other teammates. Tokumitsu has an advantage on Bachira in terms of physicality, and Aru has an advantage in terms of jumping. But at the same time, Nagi is evolving his own jumping, so it seems like they only have one choice, and that's Tokumitsu, which Tokumitsu would lead them to tying it up 4-4, giving them an extremely close game against Rin's team. Isagi would continue to just overload himself with emotions, and it seems like this football game is expanding his strengths and lowering his weaknesses extremely rapidly, in which Rin would look at him and point toward him and thinking that he is a sickness, that he is a disease. And Isagi would look back at him and say, no, not at all. He's the plague. He tells Rin that he is Blue Lock's plague. Blue Lock's plague that will exterminate every single striker that is unworthy of stepping on the field with him. his ego, his egotistical personality is now shining through once again, and Bachira is loving it. He thinks that this is amazing. He's never heard him speak like this, and he's excited. For some reason, this makes him even want to play more next to Isagi. And Nagi, not even being a big fan of trash talk himself, he for some reason is getting amped up as well. Getting amped up to the point that he's just ready to go. And Rin is completely shocked. It seems as if Isagi has taken on the role of this quote-unquote sickness, but he didn't even mean it like that in the first place. He meant it like he was sick in the head, that his emotions waver so much that he shouldn't even be on a football field. But it's a little different for Isagi, and that realization may have been made a little too late in terms of Rin, because Isagi has now truly awakened, and he is truly the Blue Lock's exterminator of all strikers that are unworthy. And with a couple passes and a beautiful lofting pass to Isagi toward the middle of the field, and a beautiful left-footed goal would set them up for a 5-4 scorecard and a win for Isagi's team. He then looks toward Rin and points at him, saying that it's not time for him to be exterminated just yet. So join his team, and they can cleanse Blue Lock right now. In which Rin wouldn't have a choice. Isagi has chosen Rin to be on their team, and Isagi has truly evolved into something greater. Something that may be unstoppable if utilized properly. And let's just say, Rin might be the perfect catalyst for this. Isagi calls himself the exterminator, or the Black Plague of Blue Lock. The one that will exterminate all strikers that are unworthy of being here. This crazed version of himself that he has now awakened on the football field may be something that is truly amazing. And Rin might be able to hone this all in and show Isagi the way of more or less exterminating every single person that needs to be exterminated in Blue Lock. These two strikers are so different. Maybe they're connected in some way. But Isagi can see it. His visions of the field are nowhere near Rin's at the moment, but his talent and his abilities are far surpassing what Rin could do. But with his guidance and the unhingedness of Isagi, the unpredictableness of the exterminator, well, let's just say it's truly going to be a spectacle. They're finally in a group of 4, awaiting the next person or the next team that they have to go against. And that next team would eventually arrive. That next team would consist of people that wouldn't or would actually surprise them a good bit. This team consists of the Monk Boy, which would be surprising for Isagi. This Monk Boy, he's really surprised that he even got here. And the next person, well, would be Chiguri. Chiguri would be a speed demon, someone that could go up and down the field so easily, and someone that could truly make a difference in the long run in terms of passing the ball. The next person would be Reo, which Nagi would be happy to see, saying that Reo is a good shout. That Reo hopefully has been evolving this entire time. But the fourth person is Shido. Someone they haven't seen this entire time. They haven't seen him at all. But Isagi would look at him a little bit, thinking that he may be a serious threat. He knows when someone is unhinged. He can tell that he's unhinged all the time. Bachira would laugh at this, saying that he is unhinged all the time as well, pointing at himself, pointing at Bachira, of course. And Bachira would say that he has fun. That other guy, he doesn't look very fun. in which Shido wouldn't even respond to this remark, and his team would challenge Isagi's team. Now, this team is a little bit different, but still, the unpredictableness of Shido causes for a problem, a very, very big issue. But at the end of the day, Rin is an issue in himself. Rin feeds off of Isagi, devouring every single point of attack he looks to attack at. It seems like every step that Isagi is using, Rin is using it for his own good and own benefit. Nagi taking up so much space on the field, and everybody knows that all it takes is one false step and Nagi will be gone and scoring. Bachira, with his beautiful passing abilities and his dribbling that seems to be unstoppable, it seems like a team that is for the ages and a team that is unstoppable. And the first goal would go to them, and an unorthodox one. Rin passing it to Isagi, an Isagi that looks crazed, an Isagi that looks like a monster, like a villain. He would score, and Shido would smirk at this. He would be able to tell that Isagi has something deep down inside him, and something has just came out recently. He hasn't heard of this guy very much, but he's obviously a monster. He's obviously a villain, just like him. But Isagi would remark that he's no villain, that he's something different. Call him an anti-hero, call him whatever he wants. But at the end of the day, if his skills aren't good enough, he'll be exterminated like the rest. And Nagi and Bachira would smirk at this, as they know that Isagi is officially and utterly locked into the game. Shido would show them things, though, that they wouldn't even believe would be possible. The way he contorts his body and scores his goals, it feels as if as long as he's in front of the net, it doesn't matter where the ball is placed or where it is going, every pass is a good pass. He's hungry for the ball, and it seems like his playstyle, he's always in position to score. But there's one issue, one very big issue. Let's just say Isagi is ready for this. He knows how unpredictable people can be, playing with Bachira as much as he's done, and on top of that, how unpredictable he is. He knows how to stop Shido, and soon that plan would go into effect. But the plan wouldn't really be that much of a plan. It would be him jumping out in front of Shido as much as possible. He wants to out-villain the villain. He wants to straight up show him that he's not good enough, and not good enough yet. Even though Shido is extremely, extremely talented and extremely lethal, he won't be able to do this on his own. Unfortunately, he went up against a powerhouse, an absolute freak of a team, and that team would slay the villain. And not only that, Isagi would exterminate their team and would lay them to waste. They would win, and eventually win about 5-2. Isagi's personalities and all of his egos and all of his alter egos all put away for a combination of his egotistical one, his anger and frustration, but also his confidence. It seems like this is the best mix for Isagi, the best mix to be as lethal as possible. And this choice in terms of who they want is very simple. Very simple. Because at the end of the day, they're going to pick up Shido. And at the end of the day, when villains come together, sometimes it makes them that much stronger. Isagi begins to speak with Shido. They actually kind of conjure up some relatively decent friendship. Nothing too crazy, but nothing too, bad. He does have a kind of crazed look in his eyes, just like Shido does. So they have that in common. Bachira even chimes in, saying that they are both very, very insane characters. But Isagi's the one that has an actual sickness that is literally made for him to have a split personality, which Shido finds this to be freaking awesome. he thinks this is great. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a time playing with them, in which they would have a hell of a time playing with them, at least for the last game. And that last game would be against the World 5. But the World 5, they're no slouches. And it doesn't help that Rin loves to talk smack. And the fact is, Isagi has nothing against them. Unfortunately enough, his emotions kind of waver against them just a little bit. And the fact is, they're not technically in blue lock. I mean, not at all. They're just a challenge that is up in front of them. He's the exterminator of all fake strikers in blue lock, and these aren't necessarily strikers in blue lock. So the the kind of factor of him being egotistical, frustrated, angry, and all that kind of peters a little bit just because of the fact of who they're going against. So it kind of goes back to more of his excited, nervous, the speedster of Isagi, and also the one that has kind of a bit of insanity, which allows him to do some crazy dribbling moves. But with that said, that kind of is bad for their team. Even Rin brings up the fact that he doesn't understand why he's not acting the way he was before, in which Isagi says that on this football field, he wants to exterminate the fake strikers of blue lock. These are the World 5, people who have more or less proven themselves to the largest extent you possibly can. Isagi would tell him that he can be as egotistical as he wants against them. He doesn't mind, and he'll set them up as best as he possibly can with his passing ability, in which he still has. But there's no way that he can really pull that version out of himself. He apologizes and says that that's just the case. In which Bachira would ask if there's any other version of himself that he thinks that would be extremely beneficial, and he would look toward Shido and then look back toward Bachira, and he would say that Bachira probably should smack him in the face, which big question marks would come out of Shido and Rin. Why the hell are you going to smack him? As they say this though, he gets slapped across the face. But Isagi doesn't even get mad. He just gets really, really sad. I mean, Bachira is kind of his friend, and, well, he just slapped his friend, so he got real sad about it, and now he's crying his eyes out. And everyone there is just standing there in complete shock, even the World 5. What the hell is wrong with this kid? This kid's a psychopath. He just asked him to slap him, and then started crying about it. Isagi would continue to cry, but Bachira would explain that Isagi's abilities, when sad and when, well, like this, his passing abilities are off the charts. And on top of that, he always has a bit of excitement, nervousness to him, so his speed will be insane as well. In which they're kind of confused. What is he, some fucking video game character? How does this even make sense? And Bachira would explain that, yeah, he kind of have a split personality / alter ego thing going on in his brain and psyche, and it really only unlocks on the football field. It's kind of cool. Honestly, he's kind of insane, and I like it. And Bachira would explain this, and the game would eventually begin. They would wonder why he believes this is the best choice of action, and it would become obvious when he sets up Rin for his first goal. We're talking a pass that is absolutely stunning, a pass that would go through, above, and just out of reach of every last person that is there. Rin scoring his first goal, and a belief of beating the World 5 would flood over him. But quickly that belief would kind of shut down a little bit, especially when they would score so quickly off the bat. But Isagi says that let him facilitate until they start guarding up and truly respecting it. Well, let's just say this is not going to be very easy for them to stop their goals, especially with the freak over there. As Isagi says this, he continues to cry and says he's sorry for calling him a freak. In which Shido would laugh at this as he sprints out, looking for a pass from Isagi. Isagi would pass the ball, and let's just say the World 5 and some of them on the team would look at this pass thinking that this is a professional pass. This is a pass that they would see in the major leagues. But at the same time, they need to recover for this pass. They get in position to guard Shido, but Shido's ability to score basically from anywhere in front of the goal allows him to score with ease, especially with a beautiful pass, putting them up 2-1, in which this would make the World 5 realize that they're going to have to start coordinating a little bit within themselves so that they can beat down this team and show them what they're really capable of. And let's just say once they decide to just coordinate even 5%, even just that little bit, it's absolute domination. And that's really unfortunate. Yes, Isagi's team is able to score maybe one more goal, and because of Isagi's amazing passing, but once they stick a really good defender on Isagi, and once they decide to just stick a defender on him, it's kind of just impossible for him to do much. They know that everything flows through him, and it seems like everything is flowing properly through him. So once they stop him, it's kind of a wrap. So the game would end, but they would have a pretty impressive showing, especially against the World 5. And after that is said and done, they would head back in, and they would get done with, kind of their own trainings, their own bonding sessions, and so on and so forth. And at the end of it all, the second selection would finally come to an end. But what's to come next? Well, Jinpachi Ego would come on the speakers as everybody walks in and more or less is announced, and everybody is announced who got through the second selection. Well, Jinpachi Ego would say exactly what's on his mind. He would tell them all exactly what's happening with Blue Lock and exactly what needs to happen for them to stay afloat. That the U20 match is upon them very, very soon. And that for them to win, he's going to need 11 of our best strikers to work as a team to dominate Japan's U20 team. But with that said, that is where we're going to leave off for What If Isagi Had a Split Personality. And if you enjoyed this series, I hope y'all did. Make sure to leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. And I don't got much else to say, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.